Hello, Oracles. How are we doing today? Happy Tuesday to everyone out there. So, tomorrow's the big day. Today was the first day of the FOMC meeting. So, they're having their meeting going on. We don't know much about it. Kind of see the uncertainty in the market. You see the stocks move one way or the other. Some people think there's insider information. Whatever it is, we know that tomorrow afternoon we will be getting the information from Jerome Powell, letting us know whether we are going to be getting a increase in the rates, if they're going to pause, if they're going to drop rates. I cannot fathom they're going to be dropping it as much as so many people are looking at this saying, you're using lagging data. We need to make sure that we're keeping things in line and maybe a drop is good. Chances are, based upon everything Jerome Powell has told us, they're most likely going to be raising rates 25 basis points. That's my guess. That's what I've been saying all along. So I really have a feeling that we are going to be seeing that tomorrow. How's it going, Yash? So yeah, that's where we're at. Let me see. Get this kicked in here. Let me take a look at the charts here for you guys really quick. So I'm still in the middle here, down about 1% on the day. Let me get the charts up for you. Let me fix this. There we go. Yep. So again, right in the middle, down that 1%. So with tomorrow now, I've been hearing things, here's what's basically how the market's going to react and what's priced in. What's priced in is what we've been talking about is basically a 25 basis point hike or a pause kind of in the middle there, and then a pause at the next meeting. No more rate hikes for the rest of the year. That's what's currently priced in. So looking at where we're at right here, if we get that information that comes in, again, I still think we may dip down to this to fill this gap at 146 and then bounce up from there. Because again, a pause historically has indicated a chance for the market to run. So we will see if that actually transpires tomorrow. Now, as we were talking about over on Twitter, one of the things that that Opens guys had mentioned is the market has not priced in. What are the chances that Jerome Powell comes out tomorrow and says, hey, we're doing a 25 basis point hike, but we might raise rates even more this year? That might freak the market out a little bit. That might bring us down. Just saying that alone could be enough to bring the market down, bring Tesla down to fill that gap. So again, I always say just wait and be patient. Leave yourself in a position where you're agile to be able to handle what's going on. Some people are all in the market. That's awesome. Everybody has their own different risk thresholds. You guys need to make your own decisions for your own portfolio. For me, I like to be agile, especially in a market like this. You don't know what opportunities are going to present themselves, and you don't know if the opportunity that presents itself is the best opportunity. I mean, yesterday I bought SoFi at around 545. And guess what? Today, it dropped down to 483 where I bought it again at that level. So crazy things happen all the time. We're in that kind of market where crazy stuff is going to happen. What's going on, Raymond? Yeah, Apple earnings this week. Do you hold it? I used to have Apple last year. I held it for a long time. And I say a long time for me. For me, it was about a year or so, a little over a year I was holding Apple. So I was up pretty nice on Apple. Just kind of saw the signs that the market was going to be pulling down. So I ended up selling mine around 165. And then it pulled down significantly from there. So I made a nice profit on my Apple, ended up rolling most of that into Tesla, but I have not gotten back into Apple again since then. John, Tesla dead for a few quarters. It's most likely yes. I do think with the potential pause, we do run up in the stock price itself, but the quarterly earnings are going to be kind of flat just because, again, with the interest rates going up, with even if they pause, it's still high interest rates for people to be buying vehicles at. So Tesla's going to have to work some things out. That's going to be a struggle for them. So we may see some numbers kind of flat for the next couple of quarters for them. Again, to me, that's just a great buying opportunity. I do think once all of this clears, as soon as the interest rates start coming down, that's going to basically expand the total addressable market for Tesla. So you have to picture it this way. As interest rates go up, the total addressable market for Tesla shrinks just because less people are able to afford vehicles, less people can get loans for the vehicles, and less people want to pay that kind of interest rate on their loan. So that total addressable market shrinks. Once interest rates start coming down, that total addressable market grows. Now, think about the timing of this. The Fed starts coming down on interest rates next year, maybe end of this year, but let's say even if it's Q2 of 2024, that the Fed starts to come down with rates, we then start seeing the compact car coming out at the end of 2024 into 2025. Not only does Tesla have the total addressable market for their current lineup growing with the Cybertruck along with that, you also then have a compact car coming in to expand that total addressable market even more. So that exponential growth bump is going to be massive come 2025 into 2026. What's going on, Kenneth? Yeah, Ford reported today, above analyst expectations, stocks still went down. Stocks went down because they, for the first time ever, reported their EV numbers. I give major kudos to Ford because they're brave enough to say, you know what? We are moving in this direction towards EVs. And in order for us to improve, we have to accept where we currently stand. So bravo to Jim Farley and the crowd over there at Ford because they said, you know what? We have no shame in showing that we are struggling with EVs and we are not profitable. But this is our baseline and we intend on improving from here. And I hope that they do. So good for them for coming out with that because you know full well GM won't come out with that. And if they do, they're going to come up with some sort of skewed number way of showing their numbers so that it doesn't show as bad as they are. Ford was just like, dude, we suck. And here it is. Here's our starting point. Let's go from it. Coming from a personal trainer standpoint and from a guy who's lost over 30 pounds 7 times, you got to accept it. My fat ass needs to lose weight. If you're not going to accept that, it's going to be a problem. The first step is admitting your problem. Ford has admitted their problem. They're now going to address it. Good on them. Gene, do you think Tesla will hit $300 this year? It's going to be close. Quite honestly, I think it's possible for sure. My price target for the end of the year is still 247. So I think a lot of it comes down to timing of when the Fed is going to pause, when the Fed's going to pivot, how these interest rates are going to affect the market. If we end up hitting a recession in Q3 or do we hit it in Q4? So I think there's a lot of factors in play timing wise that are also going to determine when we hit that level. So, it's a matter of how much running room do we have with the pause as we go up before we end up coming down. So I think it's totally possible that we fill that 262 gap. Whether we get up to 300 or not, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. How's it going, Melissa? Yeah, market sucks currently, but it sucks because we're going to the FOMC meeting. And as we've talked about before, the one thing the market likes the least is uncertainty. And while we think we know what's going to go on tomorrow, there's still uncertainty in the market. That's the biggest thing. So again, we saw it when, we had the Russia-Ukraine war going on. Leading up to that war, we didn't know if that war was going to happen. That uncertainty going into it was when the market failed the most. That's when it was crashing the most. As soon as we got the confirmation that the war was happening, we noticed that the stock market rebounded. Now, of course, it did come down significantly after that as well. But in that moment, that uncertainty is what brought us down. The clarity came back up. Even if the clarity is negative, it still came back up for a little bit. So tomorrow, again, we're going to get the clarity. But while the clarity comes out tomorrow, if the Fed indicates that they're going to potentially raise rates more, that clarity might not be enough to make us bounce back up. Patience is so hard. Yeah, it is. Patience, patience, patience. But again, the market is a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. So please have patience. Have patience and be agile. And that is financial advice. Just be patient. Don't make emotional decisions. That's the most wise thing you could possibly do in the market is just not trade with your emotions. Yeah, SoFi got crushed hard. It did, but I'm buying back in. I use SoFi. That's my credit card. I have a lot of some of my investments through that's where I do my fractional trading. So I have good faith in them. They're almost profitable. So I think SoFi is going to be perfectly fine. But again, rising interest rate environment is just brutal on growth stocks, especially companies that are not profitable. It's hard. So in reverse, when we do see the stock market and we see interest rates coming down and the stock market rebounds, growth stocks will be strong again. So just keep that in mind. This is one of the reasons why I don't mind buying low. But keep in mind too, depending on how long this lasts, some of those growth stocks, if they're not strong, might not even exist once we get through this. So be very careful in your stock picks. Karav, yes, with the sales. Let's see. Europe sales for April so far have been outstanding. Still waiting for two most important markets, Germany and UK. Yes, keep us posted, Karav. Thank you. I've been very much off the radar tracking production, sales, deliveries, everything. So Karav, you've been my man holding up these numbers for me. So I appreciate all of your work because I've definitely been off doing so many other things at the moment. Speaking of, I've got new merch as well. So you guys saw some of the other stuff. I have a few new things I just threw in the merch store as well. Um, yeah, no shame in taking a profit. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people who are like, you gotta hold, never sell, never sell. I'm not going to be one to tell you guys to never sell. You've got to do what's best for your portfolio. If you feel comfortable selling, taking some profit off of the table, go ahead and do it. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. What's going on, Hanif? What is this? I think Tesla should stay the course on his schooner tuna marketing play. What is schooner tuna? I don't even know what that is. It sounds hilarious. That's awesome. Did you guys talk about the cyber rodeo thing coming up on the 16th? So that is the shareholder meeting. That's the annual shareholder meeting is the 16th. So I believe that's a Tuesday. I'm going to check the timing of it. Normally they would have something that we'll have live sometime around that 5:30 time frame. I'm going to double check the timing on all of that. So I will do a live stream that night. I can't get out of work early that day. So if it's earlier, I will not be able to be on. But as soon as I know timing of it, I will let you guys know and I'll have a live stream set up for it. So it's convenient that it's Tuesday and I normally do my live streams on Tuesday anyway. So yeah, Karav. When do you guys finish school? Are you a mid-May school out kind of guy? I'm not sure what the schools are out there. My son goes till the middle of June. Yeah, Karav's my man. Yeah, get real time to get in shape. Yep, that's what I told myself this year. I was like, it's time to get back at it. I was tired of feeling like an old man. Definitely glad I did. So I'm actually, and if you guys wanted to let me know in the comments below, I'm looking for a watch. I used to have a Sunto Spartan watch. It was great. I need one for GPS tracking. It's got to have an altimeter in it because I want to go. I'm going back on my hikes again, and I want to track them all and see how I'm doing and progressing. And I want something that's going to track my sleep as well. And that one did not do it. So I was looking at. I may just get an Apple Watch, the SE. I didn't want to spend a ton of money. The SE is $250. It's a little higher than I wanted to spend, but it's got everything that I want in it, and I want it to be waterproof. But if you guys know any other suggestions, I was looking at some Garmin's also, but I couldn't find any Garmin's that were tracking sleep. I know it's off a Tesla topic, but if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. I am going to start doing once I start building up more on my other channel, the health and fitness channel. I'm going to start doing some live streams there as well and some other longer videos. So if you guys are interested in the health and fitness, again, um, I've been doing that since I've been 10 years old. So I have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to health and fitness. So when it goes along with your wealth, obviously we're looking at wealth. That's what this investing channel is all about, is building that, but you can't enjoy it without your health. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely reach over there. It's Oracle Health and Fitness. Yeah, the Be a Good Human shirts. Mine hasn't come in yet. I ordered mine as soon as my marketing team put it together. I ordered mine, so I've got that coming in. So I'm still in where the it's going to suck, but not super suck. That is what I'm currently wearing, and I've got to set my screen up here so you guys can see my shirt better. I'll figure out how to do that. Maybe I'll do a standing thing. I don't know. I'll play around. But yeah, I've got the Be a Good Human is out there. Another one that came out today was Unheck Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself. And I excel at spreading sheets. So if any of you guys are into That I know, Karav. I know you're 16, but man, your spreadsheets are dynamite. So that would be a perfect shirt for you, if you're willing to go out in there and get that. And heck, if you want that shirt, Karav, for what you've done and all your work, if you want that, I'll get it for you. Let's see. Tesla was doing relatively well in the morning, possibly due to a small price increase. Yeah, yeah. So and it's so funny when you pay attention to the news. Um, so the news, like I'm on TD Ameritrade, so I get some news blurbs that pop up depending on who's writing the article. And over there, they said, yeah, Ford came out because Ford lowered their prices, and because Ford lowered their prices, Tesla started coming down. I'm like, dude, the entire market was pulling down. So I don't think it had anything directly related to Ford's pricing, but whatever. The news is going to tell you however they want to tell you to slander it, but either way. Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to try to update that. I've got a lot of options in there now. Like that marketing team, that girl over there, Hannah, who works for Momentum Marketing, Dan, my buddy, she's awesome. Like she has not once put out something I didn't like. Like there's maybe something I've had to tweak a little bit, but she puts out dynamite stuff. Devin, bottom for Tesla. My bottom for Tesla, worst case scenario is $57 at that gap down there. That is my bottom for right now. If you look really deep, there is a gap that goes down to 26. That's in my mind. I'm never going to say it's too low, but I think we would have to get into some sort of massive economic crash for us to get down to that level. So, so realistically, right now, I think if we hit a recession, 57 could be the bottom. Um, just don't know. The Fed still has a lot of the balance sheet to run off. That's my biggest concern. Nicole, yes, you catch me live. For those of you who don't know, Nicole is my brand manager. She is phenomenal. So if any of you guys are out there looking for one, by all means, please reach out to her. She is fantastic. If you guys need her contact info, let me know. I will get it to you. Do you think Tesla stock will tank tomorrow when the Fed raises rates? It's a chance that's possible. I think the market is going to react more to what Jerome Powell gives us for guidance in the future, because we basically have priced in a 25 basis point hike as it is. So if we get the 25 basis point hike, we're getting what we expect. Awesome. But if Jerome Powell comes out and says, we're not going to pause at the next meeting, we may end up going with another 25 basis point hike, that could cause the market to pull down more. Yes, we always get off topic, but it's always fun because there's so much more. There's so much more to go in life than just Tesla. Timmy should wear a bell around your neck to keep bears away. Also identify. We found the bear poop. Yeah, we're stepping in it for sure. Definitely. The last couple of years it's been tough. Oh yeah. Yeah, Excel shirt. And again, with the merch store, if there's any different styles of anything that you guys want, take a look. There's a lot of different things that I can do. So you let me know and I'll change it up. It's very easy to change and put something. So if there's a type of shirt that you want, or a mug or a bag or whatever, let me know. I'll make it all happen. Mm-mm. Ron, in my opinion, stock is going nowhere until next year. Yeah, I know. Then a nice move up. Stock help is for Tesla to give dates mid-quarter and set expectations lower. I think the problem that we're going to end up seeing with Tesla is the numbers that Tesla comes out with for earnings, deliveries, everything, none of it's going to matter. Realistically, I don't think for the next 12 months, any of the information and data that we get from Tesla are going to matter to the stock price in the moment. It's all going to matter to the stock price in a year or two from now. So keep that in mind when we end up seeing all of the numbers. So when people get confused and they say, Tesla beat earnings, why is the stock falling? Tesla smashed earnings, why is it not going anywhere? Why do we still keep going down? That is the problem when we're looking at a disconnect between the macro environment and the actual economy and Tesla as a company. So again, that's where it goes to the point where, you know, we say these are the great buying opportunities. And some people are frustrated. I've bought enough. I don't want to buy anymore. I want the stock to go up. I get it. And sometimes the timing of it is really terrible. Some people are like, hey, I was planning on retiring on this stock, and now we're where we're at, and it's not in a position. The timing stinks. It does. And there's nothing we can do about that other than be patient. So it does stink for that moment. But what ends up happening is we get through this economic time and we kind of make up for lost ground. So even if we stay flat or pull down from where we're at right now with the stock price, you jump up to 2025, the economy turns around. We've got the compact car coming out. We've got energy picking up, FSD potentially being solved and regulated. Then we see that massive push and we make up for all that lost ground and push up. So we might end up going from a stock price of, you know, $200 to $600 in a year's time. You know, a 3x in 1 year is not unusual for Tesla during bullish runs. So keep that in mind when we end up getting to those points later on down the road. So as painful as it is now, it could be very good in the future. So you just got to be patient. Let's see here. Nicole, I feel I like the Excel shirt idea. I feel like fraud wearing it, not great at Excel. You excel in the streets, right? Some are good in the sheets, some are good in the streets. I don't know. How does that work? What is the mountain in the background? Trend line for nope. That's Mount Everest, the biggest mountain. That is Mount Everest behind me right there. I wanted to put it up there because sometimes with the stock price and where it's at, it feels like that's the mountain that we are climbing. We just keep on going uphill. Eventually, we will reach that peak. We will reach where we're getting to. You've just got to keep on trudging along and be patient. Giga South Korea. Yeah, I'm actually wondering if they're going to announce that at the annual shareholder meeting. That might be the place that they announce it. You know, Elon doesn't like to do product announcements at these calls and meetings and things, but we do remember that at the that investor day, that's when they announced Giga Mexico. So the shareholder meeting might be the place that they announce a South Korea or what's going on there. So he wanted to retire next year. Well, I mean, maybe 2025. So maybe one more year. We'll see how that goes. I keep hoping Elon is a secret weapon. That's the thing. Like everything he has, and it's not even secret. Like he lets us know what's going on. Like other than like the compact car and some details about that stuff, which obviously they can't let out right now. It's like we basically know what's going on. He gives us enough information to let us know the basics of what is going on. We know a compact car is coming. We know the robo-taxi type van is coming. We know that FSD is coming and going to make all cars robo-taxis. We know that another gigafactory is coming this year. We know that energy is taking off. I mean, think about Master Plan Part 3 literally set down the entire roadmap for what their plan is. Just do the math. Like there's no secret to it. That's all coming. And so they obviously have a product roadmap that hasn't been fully disclosed. So there's a lot of little things in there, but otherwise we know what's coming. It's just a matter of when is it all going to be coming and what value is going to be put on all of that. Gerald, don't buy what you can't afford to sit on for a year or two. When, not if, Tesla takes off, it will be pretty amazing. Absolutely. And that's the whole thing is, you know, going back to, the financial advice that I can give is don't invest more than you can lose. So, if you can't lose everything, then don't go all in. That's just what it is. Only invest what you can afford to invest. Work with your finances, do what you can. Like there was a time when I first started, I was putting in $20 a month. That's all I could afford was $20 a month into the market. Little bits, that's all I could do. That's why fractional trading was so important to me because I couldn't put money into Tesla. I could for me to try and save up to buy one share of Tesla, it was crazy. Like there was literally my entire portfolio when I first started was one share of Tesla. It was out of my range. I was not going to do that. No, I mean looking back at it, I wish I did, but either way, that was not where my mindset was at. I could not afford it. It wasn't worth it for me. So it's just the wisest thing you could do is just that. Plus, that really helps you keep your emotions out of it because if you are invested heavily and you're relying on the stock market to give you gains to make money, and you need that money to survive, your emotions are going to be heavily tied to that. That's going to cause a big problem. Let me see. You mentioned one time several months back that stock gaps 9 out of 10 times will get filled. Where's the last gap that hasn't been filled? And after that, the stock can run. So the gaps that we currently have, um, the last one that was created that hasn't been filled is right above us right now at, let me see here, at that 160, 177 level. That was the most recent gap that was created, was 177. So it actually looks like there is a tiny little gap above that. So this tiny little gap here to 183.58, very itty bitty, but that does exist. So that was created before this one. So before that, the gaps that were created were this 142 or 146, 133, and 122, and then 114 below that. So all of those gaps were created in succession. So 9 out of 10, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 6 going down to 114. Those 6 gaps were the most recently created, and they were all created this year. So those are the ones to pay attention to. And then before that, we have the 262 gap above us. That would be the 7th gap that is created. After that 262 gap, all of the other gaps are about almost 2.5 years old. And that goes back to, I think it was either right around COVID or right after COVID. So, so those are the gaps. So if you're going to, up to the 10th gap, you would be going down. I think there's like 88, and I'd go into the charts, but my charts screw up when I do it and they jump way, way back. So it's like 88, 67, and then 57. So those are like the 10 most recent gaps. This is good. Bob Kendall, hedge fund manager, in an interview with Meet Kevin, said the rates will stay as they are for a long time, as they were unrealistically low, 2 to 3%. Historically, rates were in 10 range in US. So that's the Fed already told us that once they hit the rate that they want to stay at, they're going to stay there for a while. So we're looking at, if you look at how the Fed has been trending with their charts, we'll probably hit, if we do another 25 basis point, let's say we hit the 25, we hit that 5.25% to 5.5% range, then we go to a pause. Jerome Powell already told us that they plan on pausing for like a year. So that means that we would keep those interest rates around that level for about a year. There's a lot that needs to get flushed out. And to his point, if you look at the interest rates from the housing market crash back in 2008, basically into 2016, interest rates were almost zero. Very, very low interest rates for almost a decade. Is insanely low. I didn't realize that they were that low until I started looking at all the data from back then. Very, very low interest rates. Then they started to creep back up, and we started to hit that point in 2018 where we were coming back into that 2% range. And then the market started to freak out. So the Fed had to pivot at that point to kind of reinstill the market, to kind of reinvigorate it, to get it moving again. So they did that pivot, and that's where then we started moving into COVID. Then, of course, they had to drop rates to zero again. So again, that was a very long extended time of basically very little interest rates. So to his point, he's right. And they need to leave it high to kind of flush a lot of that out of the market. So we'll most likely see interest rates in that 5 to 5.5% range for about a year. Then we would tick down. Now, it probably won't tick down a lot unless data shows that we need to come down further. And at that point, they might. But even so, we might even come down to a 4% interest rate for another year going into 2025, and then come down to like 3.5 or 3% into 2026. So there's going to be an extended period of time of interest rates being over 3%. So totally possible of that happening. Yeah, Krav, I saw that. Tesla's offering 10-year financing in certain parts of Europe. Norway right now is you put down 1,000 krone and it's 2% interest for 10 years. So not yet, Alan. We haven't heard anything about South Korea yet. Nothing official. Just know that it's in the talks for something going on. Nicholas, I'm kind of worried about losing my job in this upcoming recession. In Germany, not directly affected by the Fed, more of an ECB. Any tips to stay positive during these times? Yes, there's always a silver lining. What I have learned, I've lost my job several times. Every single time I've lost my job, it sucked. It crushed me. I had a family I had to care for. That I was the major source of income for the family, and I had nothing. So what ended up happening afterwards is each time I found that next stepping stone, and it took me even higher. If I had stayed at the job I was at, I would have not been able to be where I'm at now because I would have ended up staying low. I would have not known the opportunities that were present to me at the time. Didn't know they existed until I was forced out of those jobs. It's difficult for sure. So recommendations are, if you see this potentially coming, do the best you can, save as much cash as you can, pay off whatever debt that you can. I don't know your financial situation. So basically, do what Tesla has done for themselves, getting to a very difficult economic time. They got themselves out of debt, they saved up the monster store of cash, and they've got a free bunch of free cash flow coming in. So if you see this coming, think about something you could do on the outside, maybe a side gig, side hustle, maybe start your own YouTube channel, something else on social media, whatever you want to do that you're good at. See if you can start doing something like that on the side so you can have some extra money coming in as well. That will help you out. Just my recommendations for you. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, compact car is going to destroy the market for sure. No OEM can build a $25,000 car and turn a profit except Tesla. Yeah, look at Ford right now. Now, granted, they've basically got 2 years to get to that point, but if Ford can't be profitable with a more expensive vehicle right now, how could they possibly have a profitable $25,000 car? They just can't. There's just no way. So if they do come out with it again, they would be taking a massive loss on it, and they would have to try and offset that with the dying ICE market and try to make up for it with all of the parts and service they do with ICE, because they have no other profitable areas of their business other than financing, which we also know is going to be very difficult for them. Current U.S. leasing rate for auto is around 6% over 5 years. That's high, very high. I know, even when I was looking at mine. And I wanted to keep you guys updated. So Tesla did send me notice that May 11th is the last opportunity I have to take delivery on my Model Y. After that, they will cancel my order. So I've told you guys I'm most likely going to be canceling. Although I did have an option today. I interviewed a guy to work for us. Loved the guy. He was awesome. And he's looking to buy a car. So I was like, maybe this is my opportunity to sell it to him, and then I go get my Tesla. So it's still up in the air. I've got about a week or so to make that decision. I still don't think I'm going to take it. Basically, everything that I've been saying over the last year for reasons to not buy it have not changed. I still don't own a home. I still don't have a place to charge it at home. The inconvenience of owning it and the extra expense that I don't need to have by owning it, where I'd rather put that money into either cash or an investment, you know. And while I can look at it as a potential investment because I can use it for stuff for the channel and grow it there, the income I would make from that would not justify it right away. So from the wisdom from the investing standpoint, for my finances, just not there. But it's on my radar. But I will keep you guys posted. But as of right now, it says May 11th is the last time I can push it out. After that, I have to cancel. So I will keep you guys posted as to what my decision is. How about EV rickshaws for the Far East? Maybe, but I guess theoretically, if you were going to do that, it would be Optimus running those rickshaws. So I guess that would be your EV version. Let me see. Yeah, thinking of buying a Model Y and working as an Uber driver. Yeah, and then in the future, you can use it as a robotaxi, and you won't even have to drive. Let it drive itself. Yes, BYD announced the $12,000 EV. Is a rickshaw enough? We're waiting to test about pulling it. Hey, we're on the same page, Raymond. I like that. Let's see. Daniel, yes. Bacon to the moon. Bacon to the moon. Is that bacon? I can't even tell. That's so small. I want bacon. I want to take bacon to the moon. I wonder who the first person is going to be eating bacon on Mars. And then the first time they actually have pigs on Mars, and actually have Mars pig bacon. Ooh, interesting thoughts. Deep thoughts with Tim on Tuesday. Let's see. If Tesla starts selling a near zero profit this year, thoughts on stock price then? It'll come down. I mean, think about the fact that this the the sales price of the vehicle is obviously directly tied to EPS. So that coming down, unless Tesla is able to offset those margins and operating margins and bringing costs down, then uh, the stock price is going to reflect it. That's just the nature of how the beast works. But as Elon said, this is something they've obviously thought out and planned out, and they've decided that the most important thing for them is looking down the road. Whatever happens over this next year, if they have to sell their vehicles at 0% margin, so be it. They're looking long term. Long term, the most important thing is getting as many vehicles on the road as they possibly can to be able to utilize them for software purchases in the future. That is where the real money is going to be coming in. Think about it like with an iPhone or a smartphone. Yeah, those smartphones are very profitable, but they make even more money from the software. That's where the meat and potatoes are. That's the important stuff. So that's what Tesla's whole entire focus is right now. They understand that the economy is in the crapper right now. They understand it's very difficult for them to sell vehicles with interest rates being so high. So they also understand that getting as many vehicles out there to put software in is going to be huge in the future. Think about that timing again. Interest rates start coming down, compact car is out. We see that total addressable market grow for all of their vehicles. At the same time, FSD is solved, and all of those vehicles also want to get FSD. Massive revenue boom potentially coming in 2025 and 2026. That will be the complete opposite of what we're seeing right now. So just keep that in mind for you guys who are concerned about what's going on with the stock price. Yeah, if Tesla is selling at zero margin, I hate to see what legacy auto will be selling at. Massive losses. Massive losses. Yep, exactly. Alan's right. Ford is losing $50,000 for every Mustang EV. Yeah. Their cost is Holmars broke it down too, and I don't know if that's where you saw it, Alan, but um basically it's costing them $101,000 to produce a Mustang Mach E or the Mustang Mach E, and they're selling it for 50 grand. So they're losing $50,000 for each one of their vehicles. So obviously economies of scale are going to kick in for Ford, and that hopefully, in my eyes, I'm hoping for them. So again, this is probably hopefully the bottom for them. Hopefully they bring costs of things down, economies of scale pick up. Maybe they bring it down to 90,000 per vehicle or 80,000. So the losses are still going to be there, but it's a matter of, are we tracking those losses down so eventually we can see when they're going to become profitable? So that'll be the important part to track over the next few quarters for Ford. Oh, good quote, Alan. Good quote. Every adversity carries with it seeds of an equal or greater benefit. Perfect. Well said. And yes, Nicholas, that is a great quote for you. Exactly. For, potentially losing your job, negative things happen. I've always been a silver lining kind of guy. I try to find the silver lining in every negative thing that happens. We've all gone through negative stuff, some way worse than others. Um, but look at the silver linings and the positives that come out of it. And being through a divorce myself wasn't easy. I still look back and I have a lot of thoughts of, the what ifs, what if I didn't, what if that didn't happen? What if things were different? It sucks. I try not to think about it too much because I can't go back and change the past. But what I look at is the fact that, our focus has been on our son. He's doing extremely well, does great in school, good at soccer, very well behaved kid. I'm very, very proud of him. And the relationship I have with my ex is very good, and her entire family and her new husband and everything. We have a great relationship. And I just kept that positive mentality in place, and it has done very, very, very well. So that's my recommendation to you guys is just that is, just anytime you're going through some negative stuff, try to take a step back, focus on the positives and realize that maybe the universe has something better in store for you, and just try to think about it that way. Um, somebody else had posted on my other on Instagram, one of my friends, and she mentioned, instead of looking at change as losing out on something that you currently have. Look at it as an opportunity for something that's even better. Hanif, your reserve Tesla could be used for your YouTube channel as an expense. Yeah, it can. Oracle investments and car reveal by review by Oracle Tim. That's exactly what I was going to do, Hanif. I was going to do a whole entire, video me going down to pick it up, and I know that tons of people have done it, but hey, I want to do it too. I'm interested in it. I don't own one. I've been in my buddy's Tesla enough times. I know a bunch of the cool features, but owning it obviously is going to be a totally different experience. So I was going to be planning on doing like little, hey, look what I found type videos. Sure, plenty of them are out there, but I want to do my own. I'm excited about it. I want to share that excitement. Kind of do my part when it comes to, the advertising for Tesla. So that's absolutely what my plan was going to be. But looking at knowing how YouTube and that revenue stream works, it wouldn't be enough right now to justify it to come in. If I was further down the road or if I was making more money with it, I could justify it. But paying, $600-700 a month, it just does not justify getting it right now. But I'm thinking about it. It's still on my radar. I still want to get one, but just don't know. I've got to run the numbers some more. Let me see. Nicholas, so basically it could drop to $40 when EPS is around $1 to $2 per share over the whole year, within a P ratio of 20. If that's how it plays out, I haven't run the numbers on it enough to figure all that out. But I don't know if, no, I don't know if it would be that. No, because no, it wouldn't drop to 40. I know some people have run numbers and it drops super low, but it wasn't around there. No, so sorry, Nicholas. I haven't run the numbers enough, so I apologize. I just haven't had the time to go in there to figure all those numbers out. What? Alan, hear about those 3 Tesla Roadsters in a storage container over in China since 2014? Never used and ready for sale? No. That's like somebody finding Bitcoin by accident that they forgot that they had. Dang. No, I did not hear about that. That's actually a good point, William. Focusing on neutral is probably better than focusing positive or negative. It's kind of typically how I am. You know, whether you guys believe in astrology or not, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm a pretty passionate guy about things, and emotions hit me pretty hard. So I've kind of trained myself, and I try not to bottle my emotions, but just to kind of be stoic and just to be accepting of, hey, I'm feeling this way. I'm recognizing that I'm feeling this way. Okay, and that's it. And just kind of being, just it is what it is, kind of feeling about it. Um, and if I see things that are positive, that I was like, "Ooh, that's a positive thing that I wanna take advantage of and really utilize that opportunity," I'll go out there and I'll utilize that opportunity to try and take me to the next level. If I notice something negative pulling me down, I wanna recognize that and be like, "Ooh, I need to make a decision that's not emotionally driven. Let me move away from that negative, um, thing that's dragging me down and move to a more positive thing." So that's kind of how I look at it. So, yeah, so basically neutral, that's a good way of putting it. Yep, we're optimal as individuals when neutral and grounded. Yep. And recognizing emotions, recognizing opportunities, and just basically like the stock market. If we're not making emotional decisions, if you're not making emotional decisions, that you're most likely going to make a smarter decision. Nicole, do a how my YouTube pays for my Tesla vid. Ooh, hmm, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, man. You guys are really getting me on this. I got to run some numbers. I'm actually meeting with my 2 best friends. Their birthdays are May 1st and May 13th. So we're getting together this weekend to hang out. So I'll run some discussions by them. I've been friends with them for, oh my God, almost 40 years. I've been friends with those 2. So they know me quite well. We'll have a discussion this weekend. So maybe I will decide to get this Tesla. I don't know. Nicholas, you're most welcome. That is one of the things that my biggest goals in life is to inspire others. That's why I started this channel. That's why I have my business on the side, is to inspire others. So thank you. I appreciate the fact that I was able to inspire you, and keep us posted on your situation, and whatever we can do to help support you, we will do. Oh, Boomer Mama had a story about the roasters. Oh, I'll have to check that out. How did I miss her? Man, I'm not on Twitter as much as I need to be either. She's awesome. I got to get her back on the channel. I got to get a lot of people back on the channel. I just haven't had the time. Richard, Tesla insurance could be another moneymaker, and when offered at a discount for users of FSD, it would promote adoption with proven enhanced safety. Yeah, and I know that their focus isn't really on making money with insurance. So I think the Tesla insurance, if you're going to look at it from any like from a personal finance standpoint, I think it's going to be similar to spare change. So if you've got hey, I've got a few extra dollars in my pocket, let me go splurge on something. That's basically what Tesla insurance revenue is going to be for Tesla. Is hey, they've just got a few extra dollars that we're kicking in that they weren't expecting, so we're going to go spend it on something. I think that's really what it's going to come down to. I pay more for my Kia EV6 after calculating my gas savings. It would be a great decision. I love my car. Yeah, so for me, my gas savings wouldn't be much, and that's the big one for me is I'm a mile and a half from work. So if I was where I was before, where I was an hour and 15 minutes, oh, Tesla all the way. I'd have a place to plug it in, and back then the amount of money I would save in gas was huge. So this gas savings alone would be able to pay for it. But right now, my gas for the entire month is like $200. So it's still not compensating for it entirely. Yeah, yes, there is a roadster in orbit. Nicholas Scorpio as well. Maybe that's why I'm so emotional. I mean, it's so funny how like I was never into that stuff, and then I had enough friends who were telling me about this, and they educated me on it, and I'm like, I've never been one to say, oh, that justifies why I feel this way, but there's a lot of just coincidences and a lot of things that make a lot of sense. So some things just don't make sense at all, but others are pretty darn accurate. So yeah, that's what I look at as I'm a Scorpio middle child. So I've got uh I've got that side. Uh let me see. Yep, here you go. Great silver lining. I got divorced too. Best thing that ever happened to me. But I got a great kid out of it. I knew it wasn't going to be the life I wanted. Yep, my life improved after that because I didn't want. Yeah, you got to look deep inside, and that's one of the things too. One of the reasons I love going on my hikes is it allows you to really just see what's going on from an outside perspective. It's almost like looking at your life from a third person perspective, like you're reading your own book and you're like, huh, if this was a choose your own adventure book, what would I do in this situation? And that's really it. So it's a good way to take my emotions out of it. I'm on my hikes, just kind of get that clarity, let my mind free up. I love it. Yoga does the same thing. So if you're ever in a situation where you've got a decision you've got to make and you're not sure what you want to do I buy the stock? Do I not buy the stock? Do I sell it? How's Tesla doing? My emotions are starting to get driven by Tesla. What's going on? Go do some yoga, go for a hike, go for a long walk, whatever it is. Take yourself out of that situation entirely to clear your head and look at things from a third person perspective. Look at it from an outsider's view and go from there, removing your emotions. Honey, would you qualify for the $7,500 government incentive after a year or so? Your Tesla keep any profit? That's actually what I need to look at because I made more money last year than I thought I would. Very happy about that, but yeah, I don't know. I actually need to look at the full details on that because I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Last I knew, as long as you made under $125,000, you would qualify entirely for it. So if that is the case, I should qualify entirely for it. So I need to look into that. So that's a thought too, because I'd get that back next year. So yeah, I've got to look into that. That's a good point, Hanif. I'm going to take a look because if I do get that $7,500 credit, but I also have to remember it's not that I'm getting $7,500 back. I would be getting $7,500 in credit off of my of my taxable income. So that brings that down. So then I have to see what am I going to be doing this year for income. And yeah, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. See you later, Nicole. We'll chat. Definitely. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I wasn't going to be allowed myself. Super independent Capricorn. Yep. I don't know enough about all the other signs. I know some signs. Basically, when it comes to like dating, I know what signs are compatible with me and what aren't. But yeah, that's as far as I go really with all of that. If I have any other further questions on it, I ask my friends who know. Like right now, Mercury retrograde beating the crap out of me. Not great, but getting through it. It is what it is. Uh, Oracle hiking and yoga tours with Oracle Tim. Yep, that is the plan. When the Tesla van comes out, I'm all over that. The Tesla Cyber van. Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, and so in talking with my buddies as well, the van life that I'm going to be looking into might be tweaking a little bit. Instead of doing the actual full living in the van life, I may end up having a couple of homes that are in different areas and just do like, weekly tours. Maybe I'll go into like a 2 or 3 month tour and then come home. So it's not going to be I'll be living in the van all the time. So I'm kind of tweaking that plan, but that is still my plan, is to be doing some big tours, almost like a band going on tour. I'm going to be going around for like 3 months, and then I'll come home and stay home for a little while, and then I'll go back on another tour in another area. Um, so that is still totally on my radar, and absolutely. So I do want to get back to my hiking videos. Now that the weather is turning back good again, I'm going to start doing longer hikes, but my hikes are going to be sort of for training as well. I'm going to play the balance. I'm going to try to get some good hiking videos and get some info out there. But when I'm out there, I want to clear my head. I noticed when I was out there hiking and doing videos, I didn't get that same head clarity that I wanted because I was busy working while hiking. So I'm going to try to get that balance out there. And if anything else, I could do quick snippets of different thoughts that I have on my hikes, which might be nice as well. So I'll try to work it out. It's work in progress that I'll be working on. But yeah, we'll be definitely having like hiking and yoga tours. If the Fed front ended the $7,500, will any buyer qualify, or do you still, or do one still has to show any say previous tax return? Yeah, you know what? I can't remember how they said it. So I don't know if they would just be looking at your tax return to see what your taxable income was at the time of purchase. Because last I knew in 2024, it's supposed to switch over to an upfront discount versus a tax refund. So I don't know if that has changed. Please correct me if I'm wrong and that has changed. But yeah, like getting it off up front. So for me, if I still qualify next year and I can get, let's say at the time the price of a Model Y is same as is now, like $50,000, but I can get that 7,500 off immediately and I get it for 42.5. That's a big difference, because then the big difference there is me taking a loan right now on it with 6% interest at, if I'm putting 10,000 down, trading in my car for 4,000, I'd be taking a loan for $36,000 with 6% interest. But if we get the 7,500 off the top, then I'm going to be taking a loan for under $30,000. And at that time, when it comes out in 2024, interest rates will be lower. Again, this just number wise is explaining how that total addressable market's going to grow significantly. If that's how it plays out, buying a vehicle now would be taking a loan of 36,000 for 6% interest. A year from now, that could potentially be $29,000 for maybe 4 or 5% interest. That's a major difference when it comes to monthly payments and total price for the vehicle. So that's big. So I've got to get some more details on that for next year, because that could be another reason why, going back to decisions, do I wait or not? If that's the case, I might just wait, saving myself $7,500 and a boatload of interest, totally worth it. Robert, anybody here investing in TSLY? I am actually. I don't know if it was you, somebody had recommended it. It can kind of take the stress away from being a Tesla stock, and it pays dividend every month. Tracks Tesla stock closely. I get paid $3,500 every month. I think it was you. So because of you, I've got 30 shares of it in my IRA and 20 in my regular portfolio, or vice versa. Either way, I've got 50 shares of TSLY. Um, I haven't gotten the dividend. I just bought it, so I haven't gotten the first dividend kick in yet. Um, but man, like I saw that. What was it, like 66% dividend returns? That's bonkers. No, Robert, if you can explain I haven't even looked into it. I just took your word for it. I went for it. So that's an options one, right? So it's an option. So very volatile because I know the stock price itself swings significantly. But I'm assuming it's playing off of options. Either way, I figured I would try it out and see how it goes. Because those dividends, that's nuts. Melissa, doesn't the tax credit come right off purchase price going forward, not on a tax return time? Is that the case now? I thought that was 2024. Ooh, I've got a lot of research to do. I've got to find some information out. I will find this information out unless you guys somewhere have nope. I'm going to get this info for you. I'm going to get more details on the tax credit, let you guys know, and I'm going to be getting off of here in a few minutes anyway. These allergies might be bothering my throat, and I don't want to get sick. But yeah, so I've got a week. I've got a week to do some research and information gathering about this EV tax credit. So maybe I will get a Tesla sooner than later. We'll find out. Mitch, will Tesla fill the 140s gap? It will. In my mind. I could be wrong, but pretty positive that we're going to be filling that gap at 146. My thoughts are we're going to fill it this week. I have a feeling we're going to fill that gap at 146 and then bounce up from there. So, yes, choose your own ending books. I love those too. Those are my favorites. Because it's like you read the book over and over and over again. It's a different ending every time. Sometimes it's not so great. One time I fell into a sand pit and I died. It was not cool. Nicholas, you being a Scorpio, I've heard they match good with Cancer in terms of a stable relationship and with a Lion in terms of having great sex. Not to get into too much details, but Scorpio and Scorpio, pretty passionate. Not gonna lie, pretty exciting times. I don't know if I've ever dated a Leo. Or maybe a Cancer. Actually, I don't know if I've dated either of those. I know Virgo is usually pretty good. Tesla Finance. Yeah. I don't know if I hope they get into it. I don't know if they will just because of where they're at, but if Tesla does, I think that's going to be very beneficial for a lot of owners as well. And think about the fact that Legacy Auto, that's where a lot of their money comes from, is in the interest that they're making from the loans that they give out. So I think that would be beneficial for Tesla to have that as well. So if Tesla was going to, mimic anything that Legacy Auto has done, that may be one of the good ones that they could do. All right, folks. At this point, I am going to head off. Been on for an hour. Throat is starting to get a little raspy here. You guys, awesome as always. Looks like the schedule for this week. Thursday, I may or may not have a video. I've got a very important meeting potentially after work, so could have some good things going on there. Friday should be here for the live stream. Otherwise, I will be here doing a video tomorrow night for you guys. So, yeah. Again, you guys, awesome. Check out the merch store for any cool new stuff that I've gotten there. And I will see you guys later.